This is an MI.
The short answer is get them in an ambulance.
Don't let either one of those preclude you from doing it.
Right. Is it done?
Yeah.
Okay. I can't.
Who else there? Let's learn about the rules of tox. Who done it? I think this is Brugada syndrome because I see vitamins are complicated. So
Squeeze me.
Hey, welcome people of the EMRAP multiverse. We're super excited to do this EMRAP live tonight in our beautiful brand new studio in Burbank, California, where all the good studios are. So it's all about CorePendium tonight. There's a lot of new features that we want to talk about, a little bit of philosophy. We want to give some stuff away. So what are we doing tonight? Super special guest that's about to come up, the most famous emergency physician in the world by far. Not Jerry Hoffman, not Rick Buchanan, not Sanjay and Mike. No, yeah, this is the most famous person. We also want to introduce Mizaho Morrison, who's coming back into the fold after some time in the wilderness. And then we're going to do lots of live demoing of some of the new features and then talk about all of the stuff that has come. I am super excited about this. But first of all, a word from a friend of ours about a new show. Let's go.
Greetings from our set at Warner Brothers Studio.
I'm Joe Sachs, television writer and board-certified practicing emergency physician for over 30 years.
And I'm Noah Wiley, star of a new series about emergency medicine called The Pit, which is premiering on Max in 2025.
Welcome to ACEP 24 and to EMRAP's educational sessions.
We have partnered with EMRAP as the premier provider of emergency medicine education and CorePendium as the official online clinical reference for our providers.
We're striving to let the world see just how amazing, how difficult, and how important your work is. You are the sleepless, dedicated safety net for America's healthcare system 24 hours a day.
So keep doing what you do because what you do matters.
I am super excited about this show. You know, EI was one of the biggest television shows in history, and it really helped make emergency medicine a specialty. Clips from EI were used in Congress to put forward some really important legislation. These guys are doing it again. It's basically the same crew, but the storyline is very different. It's real. It's about what's happening in emergency medicine today, all of the issues that we have. And I think you're going to be super proud of this. And Joe actually told me just yesterday, looks like this is coming out in the first quarter next year. And it's going to be fun to see EMRAP and CorePendium as part of that show. And I got to tell you that Noah Wiley and the crew really care deeply about emergency medicine and all you do. So let's talk quickly about CorePendium. CorePendium started about 5 years ago. For years, we've been asked to have a textbook of medicine, and we delayed, and finally we did it. And Stuart and I sort of talked about what this could be and how it could be continually updated. And so we spent the money and the time, and we got all the people together, and we created it. And within a few months, the coronavirus pandemic occurred. And that showed us that this was really important because we were updating this chapter, just this one chapter, multiple times a day. And it showed us that what we had sort of dreamed was the right thing to do. Now, 5 years later, we have 615 chapters, nearly 200 pharmacy chapters, nearly 90 clinical calculators, over 724 authors and editors, over 4,800 media links. And I can tell you, compared to the next biggest textbook in emergency medicine, these numbers are 2 or 3 times higher than anybody else in this field. Now, we have 60,000 unique users this year. We have doubled the number of people who've been using CorePendium in the last year, and there's been a 3-fold increase in search. This has been a 5-year overnight success. The usage on this has just reached the hockey stick part. So just out of interest, what do you think are the most viewed chapters in CorePendium in the last 90 days? So thousands of people using this. What are they looking at? I'll give you a second to think about it. What you talking about? Okay, here we go. It is atrial fibrillation, approach to chest pain, vertigo, pulmonary embolism, heart failure, adult seizures, skin and soft tissue. You could probably guess all this. You could probably guess the next 10 and then the next 10. So what's different about this again is that they are continuously updated. So I want to bring up a very special guest, Dr. Mizaho Morrison, to talk about how she uses CorePendium and to reintroduce her to the EMRAP universe.
Yeah, real world. This should be really great. All right. I'm just kind of wasting time here while everyone resets, so just hang on to your butts. See you later.
So many of you will remember Mies. Mies was with us for many years and then went back out into the wilderness and was seeing lots of patients.
Yep.
And now she's back and she's going to be our CMO. I'm very excited that she's back to look after all of our docs and look after me. And tell us how you use CorePendium out there in the real world.
There are so many uses for CorePendium. Of course, teaching at the bedside, it's also a great reference if you need to remind yourself on something. But for those EM docs that need to recert, and if you've gone to the ABEM site for your My EM cert, this is a gem. It's an open book recert test. So you literally have CorePendium up, use a quick search, and ace your test every single time. I've used it 4 or 5 times now. You don't need up to date. It's like trying to drink out of a fire hydrant. So CorePendium is exactly what you need. Clinically, though, I will tell you, you know who loves this? My neurologist and my cardiologist, and here's why. I know. So my ABCD2 score, my neurologists geek out on this, on those TIA patients who are questionable. Do I admit them? What do I do with them? So I will literally enter it in on the calculator, screenshot it, cortex it to them. They love it. Also, the CHA2DS2-VASc score, same kind of thing. I'll put it in my EMR, but when I'm speaking to the cardiologist, you know, every cardiologist kind of has their preferred anticoagulant. They love this, so I use it for that. And then for myself, I use the adjusted D-dimer often. So lots of clinical applications, practical bedside teaching that you can use, quick references for the seasoned doc and the new learner. It's just great for everyone all around.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mies. Thanks for coming back and
I'm
playing.
so excited to be here.
Awesome. So next up, I want to talk to Stuart Swadron, our editor-in-chief.
Ooh, the editorial process. This is gonna be good. All right. Bye-bye.
All right, Stuart. So tell us about the philosophy behind the textbook and the editorial process and how you put all this thing together.
I thought you were going to ask me about the removing the beta label.
Oh, there's that.
But you said we're going to remove the beta label. So I thought we removed it like 6 months ago. I thought anyway. So we're totally ready. This is totally different, Mel, because of our editorial process. It's so robust. It's not like a typical textbook. We have several layers of peer review. We have pharm review. We have peer reviewers outside of that. I mean, this is a really robust process, more similar to a journal in terms of the way that we operate, yeah.
And it's, you know, unlike textbooks, you've written lots of textbooks and chapters and you sort of write it and then 2 or 3 years later it comes out. This is being revised continuously. That was the key because medicine is changing so fast. So take us through, this is one of the chapters here, and why did you lay it out like this?
You know, the whole idea here is that, you know, when you're on shift and you're in the resuscitation booth, you don't need a long chapter with references. You need to know just the things you need to know. So if you've got a really sick patient, the approach to critical patient section has an ABCD format, like what do I need to set the ventilators at for a sick patient, a crashing patient, you know, how do I, you know, just the real bare bones of what you need in the resuscitation bay. And then as the chapter proceeds, it takes you through, this is the kind of stuff that you would use, say you're ordering stuff and you're, oh, what's my differential diagnosis, what test do I have to order? And the deep dive gives you that comprehensive referenced textbook essentially. So when you go home or when you're reading them stuff, you're giving a presentation, you want to find the latest, that's all in the deep dive. And so that's how we separated it out basically.
Yeah, and now we've got these collapsible chapters like this, see these collapse up and down so you can get straight to what you want. I want to show you a couple of other ways. Because this is a huge giant textbook and you've got a little tiny screen, you've got to be able to jump in there and see it. So there's this little hamburger thing up the top with the 3 little dots and the lines. You can click on that. And that will bring up also the different chapter segments, and then you can click on anything and get back there. Another way to do it is this swipe to the left like this. You can hop right in there as well. Another big thing that we wanted to talk about is down the bottom of every single chapter, this is key, is the send feedback. Tell us about that.
Just before I do that, also show them this because...
Oh yes, you love this part.
Well, I love it because it was, it took a while to implement. Basically, if you do a search, and then you get into the chapter is admittedly large, right? Yep. You just press again under that search, and then it gives you the chapter, the internal search, and every mention of that thing comes up. So that's really important for getting you to where
With
you
the
need to go.
highlighted term that
With
you
the
look for.
highlighted term that you did, right?
Yep.
But in terms of that feedback, Mel, that
Yep.
is so important. That's the coin of the realm. This is not a textbook. This is not a traditional reference. This feedback mechanism, which is getting used more and more every day. I think we've already had 6 today. You know, it just keeps going up and up and up. This is our lifeblood. And when these feedback items come in, I mean, sometimes it's a typo, sometimes it's something minor, like, you know, are you going to do this calculator? It's like, yes, coming out next week. But often it's something like, take issue with the way that, you know, with your recommendation on this or that. And it goes through the most exciting peer review process, actually, just to see how this works and how it bounces to the different editors and goes around, and how we come up with our own recommendations based on that. We're breaking a lot of barriers, because, you know, most textbooks, you look stuff up and the thing that you really want to know, it's not there. I've written lots of textbook chapters and you're afraid to say, well, what about this situation? What about this situation, right? And it's always these situations that come up that people are writing in about, and we make sure that's addressed in the next version when the chapter comes out, which could be as early as the next day. So it's really exciting.
One of the things, we're all talking about AI, we're all excited and terrified of AI, but the big part of this is tell me what the humans do. Mostly, we don't know what to do for most conditions, let's be honest. So just experts in the field tell me what to do. You can ask that in there. Tell me what to do in this particular circumstance. I want to also bring up the calculators. So tell us about these calculators. We've got like 90 of them. Brian Parker is just this calculator creation machine.
Yeah, we have an associate editor, that's in charge of calculators with now sub-editors. It's a big thing. We want these to be state-of-the-art, as good as they can be. And not only are they easy to navigate, but right now we're in the process of updating our results. So when you copy onto your clipboard, it's going to give you a more detailed breakdown of all the components of the score that you asked for. So this is growing every day. If there's a score that you want that it's not here, let us know. It's growing every day.
Yeah, this is great stuff. All right, Stuart. I just screwed it up. Let's now bring up Sean Nort and talk about the pharmacy part of the textbook.
Wow, Pharmacopoeia. Haha, cool. All right, bye-bye.
Here's Sean Nort. He needs no introduction, but he's a pharmacist, he's an ER doc, he's a toxicologist, he's also an Irishman. He's got all of it going for him. So Sean, tell us about the pharmacy part of this. As you can see down the bottom, here is the pharmacy chapter. Just give us the philosophy. What's going on here?
I will give you the philosophy, and unlike the National Random Facts Society, we give you the facts that you need. We give you the emergency medicine focusing, love spooling, fullin', and information that you need. So how are we different? So if you use any other drug reference other than, which you'd be foolish too, but the CorePendium Pharmacopoeia, is we have our associate editors are all PharmDs that are emergency medicine critical care board certified. So that's Kimmy, that's Megan, that's Kevin, that is Jackie, and that is Carly.
And Billy Bob. No, that's probably not.
But wait, there's more, because there is more, because every one of our authors is also an emergency medicine pharmacist. These are people who are working alongside of you. The ones that you trust clinically at the bedside are now in your pocket and they're on your phone. And let's look at a chapter, please, Mal.
So you wanted to look at clofidipine. All right. So
Clovidipine's becoming hotter and hotter, right? Really popular. So what about aortic dissection? Can we use it? Well, yeah, you can use it, but scroll down, because we're going to tell you maybe that you should be doing something else. A beta blocker is the preferred one. Now, you could use clovidipine, but click on esmolol and look at how easy it is. We're in esmolol right now. Let's go there. So we go aortic dissection. We tell you, use the actual body weight. We're telling you what to do, right? Here you go. You scroll down, Mel, if you don't mind. Now, how many times have you been told, hey, keep the heart rate less than 60? That's not happening, Mel.
It's
right?
not.
It isn't. But we have actually given our expert opinion and said, hey, 60 to 80 is fine, and we based it on guidelines. Mel, what about a pregnant patient?
So I'm going to do this swipe to the left. Whoop. Oh, I'm sweaty here. And his pregnancy.
So there you go. We say do not withhold. We don't say use caution. What does that mean? Put on oven mitts? No, we're telling you it's okay to use it, right? So what if it was, hey, I'm looking up esmolol, but this is actually a preeclampsia patient. Well, labetalol is probably the better one, but you could use this, all right? And then, yeah, it's going to associate it with some intrauterine growth retardation, but not with a single dose in the ED. So give it, save that patient's life.
Look, how could you not get this thing? It's amazing. All right. Next up, I want to bring up Britt Guest and talk about study guides.
hope I like this one. Whoa, study guides. Wow. You guys are gonna love this one.
She's Britt Guest. You know her from Go, you know her from all of our live events over the years. But now Britt has become the queen of study guides. Tell us about these study guides. Where do I find them? How do I make some more of them?
So the study guides, this all comes from the amazing work of Dr. Whit Johnson. She started these study guides with kind of this 3-year ACGME review, and this is everything a resident needs to basically have to learn all of emergency medicine, and it all comes from EMRAP. We're taking this a step farther. We're building a lot more of these. As published, if you can go to study guides, just this last week, you'll see a 2-year study guide for Kenya. This was in partnership with the leadership from a family medicine residency program in Kenya. You might wonder why we partnered with family medicine, but in their 4-year residency, they do 2 years of emergency medicine and acute care. And so we built this entire 2-year curriculum for them. This is a great example of a 2-year curriculum. We're working right now and should be published next week is a 6-week emergency medicine clerkship curriculum for medical students rotating in the emergency room. We are building this for all learners, residents, medical students, in the future NPs, PAs, and it all comes from EMRAP resources, which I think is so important because it's a solid package of here's the book chapter, here's the video, here's the procedure video, and it's all you need to know.
Yeah, and the key thing is that if you go to other study guides, you have to go out to the universe and buy lots of different things. It's all in here. And are you going to make more of them?
I'm thinking about it. Yes, no, we're definitely going to make a lot more of these, and we can make these cater to any program. So if you need something for a boot camp introduction to emergency medicine, if you need something for more seasoned doctors, if you need something that is 3 months, we can cater that to your program, to your needs, and it's all within EMRAP.
Fantastic. All right. Now, let's give some stuff away with a question. So, first prize is going to be a set of AirPods. Second prize is going to be my book, and all of the proceeds go to our non-profit foundation, so you should buy it. I don't even care if you read it. Just buy it because we want to give it to our non-profit. And third prize, I know this is self-aggrandizing, but I've just written another book, and it's now on Amazon, so go buy that one as well. That'll be third prize, okay? So here's the question. You ask the question because I can't do the speaking.
All right, the question has to do with looking in CorePendium and platelets. What is the lowest safe platelet count to perform a lumbar puncture? How low can you go on platelets before you do not want to stick a needle in that spine?
So go to the CorePendium chapter, find it, cut and paste, put it in the YouTube channel, and the first 3 people are going to get a special prize. Let's now go over to the couches and take some questions and do a little discussion. All right?
Let's do it.
If you're wondering why my hand's always stuck up in this position, it's because I was designed like this, okay? It's hard to move it around because this is my resting position, okay? Anyway, it's the grand finale. You're gonna love it. It's gonna be awesome. All right, I'm gonna go back into the textbook.
All right. It's here's the faculty. They're all lovely and they're real. We're going to talk. We've got some questions, some great questions. So first of all, for SWAD, CorePendium's amazing. It's been going around for 5 years. You've told us all this new stuff. What's next?
Okay, here's the two huge things. First of all is CME. I mean,
that's big.
That's pretty important, and it's very complicated. And it's taken. You mentioned how many contributors we have. I mean, just imagine we have to go through. Our CME
like 1,000.
department have to go through all those, and we're getting there. We're all set. And we're going to have CME, and that's huge. I mean, that's what we deserve for all the the work we're doing. The other big thing, obviously, you mentioned is AI, and it's always frustrating because you can't, like, the things that we're looking at internally, we can't necessarily share. The next thing, what's coming. What's coming is amazing. What's coming is freakishly amazing, and we've seen, what AI engines can do. People are scared of this, and at the beginning, people were like, "Oh, we're not going to have AI," and so you can't do that. You can't say we're not going to go with tech. We have to do it. We're doing it smart, and we think that we have a way of doing it. So the trustworthiness, everything that we've built up, will remain the coin of the realm, and so it's going to be fabulous. And it's going to be trustworthy, and we're going to set the standard for that.
Yeah, it's key. These large language models are amazing, but they hallucinate. And so there's a couple of other AI medical information sort of textbooks out there. And sometimes it comes up with the most ridiculous stuff. If it's not checked by a human, you could do real damage.
Just to be fair, though, a lot of my emergency medicine colleagues have been known to hallucinate at times as well. So, just to even the playing field there. Yeah.
So, Sean, pharmacy chapters, you've got nearly 200. You've told us that they're made specifically for the emergency department setting, urgent care setting. How many more?
Mel, how many stars in the sky? Hey, there's no limit. But we have focus, as we said. We have 200 that are published that you can look at right now. And those are, in our opinion, the 200 most commonly prescribed and used emergency medicine drugs. Now, there's going to be biologic. There's going to be other ones that you need to know. So we're going to be bringing those in. But they won't be to the level of detail. But there's more great stuff that you're using every day that's coming to your phone.
Fantastic. All right. Britt, study guides, Go, Global Outreach, which is our nonprofit across the world. How does Go and the study guides fit together?
Yeah, I mean, this is a really beautiful collaboration with a lot of different countries and a lot of leaders in emergency medicine. A lot of the countries that we work in don't have emergency medicine residency programs, and they have very few ER residency trained physicians working in those countries. So everyone needs to learn emergency medicine, practicing in acute care and the ER, but they just don't have the resources, the curriculum, the structure to do that. And so these study guides are built to give them that curriculum and that content in an easy way where they can tackle, like, by system-based GI, cardiology, neuro, and get this information, get this critically important information, and have access to CorePendium.
I'm really excited about this, and I want people that are in groups, and our support knows about this, to let us know, hey, we really need something for our group or for our region that has these elements and these things. We can do that. That's something we have the infrastructure set up for. In the future, it could become something even more sophisticated in terms of assessment. But for now, we can provide study guides for groups, and it personalizes our curriculum, which is too massive for any one mortal to navigate without a roadmap. Let's face it.
Yeah, I think there's just the content that we have now can be overwhelming, especially for new users to EMRAP that don't know how to navigate CorePendium and the procedure videos and the courses and the lectures. And so this puts this all together in a cohesive way where you're not going to miss anything. You're going to get all the critical, important information that you need, and it's structured.
And you're doing these with people in those regions, so they are authoring them with you.
Well, it's theirs. It's for them. I mean, we're here to
So we have the family medicine group in Kenya, and we've worked with their leadership. We've worked with leadership in Rwanda to make a EM clerkship course for their medical students, and many more to come.
And domestically, there's a bunch of groups that.
I'm so excited about this. The reason that the study guides are the most downloaded is because people are just asking, please just tell me what to read or do, because it's too much, I don't know. And we're just like, go from here to here. And I wish I had that during residency. Just go here to here and you're good. So I've got a question for Mies. Mies, you're one of the big things that you'll be working on now that you're the adult in the room, because these people are not, is the fundamental series. Tell us about that and how that's
so this is, speaking of new learners, this is great for the new learner, also the seasoned learner who needs maybe a little refresher, a little resprinkle. So this is a video series. It's meant to be kind of really high yield, quick to the point. We're going through ATLS. We have Kenji Namba, Britt, and Jan who have collaborated to create that. We're doing fundamentals ophthalmology, musculoskeletal, EBM, and radiology, essentially like a 3 to 5 hour quick video series to get you up to date and up to speed. So,
and then as soon as we've done those, we're going to keep going.
We're going to keep going.
That'll all be incorporated into the textbook, and we click it, it'll go into the study guides. It all works together. A big part of the reason we did this tonight is because we go to ACIP and we talk to people, and people don't understand they've got this EMRAP universe, but they don't understand that CorePendium is included in that. A lot of people have said, well, I thought that was a separate charge, I thought that was a separate thing. No, this is all incorporated. So you need your EMRAP app and you need your CorePendium app. And one of the questions that people ask is, can I access CorePendium through EMRAP? And you can't. You have to get both of those separate apps. We had big discussions about how to make it most useful, and since it's such a different type of media, we decided we had to have two apps, and that's a little bit confusing for people. So remember, both are included with your subscription. You can get EMRAP, but also the CorePendium app as a separate app. You use the same credentials, same email, same password, and you get all of this great stuff. Look, we wanted to keep this short and sweet tonight, so I can't read that, Tom, it's too far away. Why don't you bring it over here, mate? Let me just get this. I think I am. I'm going into the 7th decade of life this week. You know what that means?
Big
Yeah,
birthday.
we know what that means. It means you're in your 40s now.
So the AirPods are going to Stephanie Chung.
Yay,
And
Sally!
book 1 is going to Adrian Parr. How do you pronounce? I can't.
Parisier.
We think.
Parassier.
Yeah.
I also have dyslexia. And then number 3 is going to Dr. Johnson. That one I can read.
Dr. Johnson.
The check's in the mail. This is coming. Look, thanks everybody. We wanted this to be short and sweet. Be safe out there. What you do matters, and we are just trying to help. Okay.
Send
we'll talk
feedback.
to you soon.
Send feedback.
Feedback.
Send
He wants
feedback.
feedback. More feedback. Overwhelm him with that little
That's
feedback
the
button. at the end.
big thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks everybody.